Hey, this is AJ Donahue from Drum Magazine. I'm here with Rich Secra from DW Drums. He's going to tell us a little bit about the new MCD pedal.
Hi, and welcome to the NAMM show. What we wanted to do is come up with a chain version of a machine pedal.
Sure.
So this is machined in-house in Oxnard at the factory. And going to a chain drive, probably 80% of drummers play a chain drive versus a direct drive. So
Right.
we started this series with the direct drive to kind of get it set up. It's our first direct drive pedal. So now with all the requests coming in, we went to a chain drive. So I can show you some of the features on this if you like.
Sure. Well, let's start with what separates the MCD from the regular DW 9000 or 5000 pedals.
Well, first of all, it's machined. There's no cast parts on it.
Okay.
So just doing that, it's a lot more hands-on work. We're starting with solid aluminum or extruded aluminum and machining it and doing it in-house.
Okay.
So it's a huge difference.
Does that result in a stronger, more durable product, or is it just more detail work?
It's a little bit of both. You will get a stronger product, cast versus machined. The machined is going to be a little stronger. So we can make slimmer parts and machine them. If it's a cast part, you have to go thicker, so sometimes you'll have a heavier pedal. So this is a little bit lighter pedal,
Okay.
but stronger, or as strong.
Okay. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about features.
Okay. Probably the main feature on here, and kind of going in, the same type of thinking as the MDD, was make it user-friendly from the drummer. So try to do all the adjustments. If you're the drummer sitting behind the drum kit, you could just reach down and make some of these adjustments. So the first one here is the cam adjustment. So our cam goes from concentric, which is round, to eccentric, which is off-center. So you can see this here. Right now it's in the round position. Cam's all the way down. And you'll see there's 5 positions. You can index it, and it gradually will bring the chain out further and further.
Oh, wow.
So you can see it's pretty extreme when it's all the way out.
Right.
And it's kind of back to our original pedal. We had the turbo pedal, which is round, and to the accelerator pedal, which is eccentric. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds and 5 positions in between to get there. So you can just switch it and play. You don't have to lock anything in. It'll stay right where you put it.
And that eccentric design adds a little bit of extra push to the very end of the stroke. Is that right?
It does. It changes the relationship between the pedal and the beater. So as you're pushing down with a round beater, you're kind of getting a 1-to-1 ratio. As you're pushing down, the beater's going towards the head. As you push that out more eccentric, the beater's actually going faster and returning faster than your foot.
Okay.
So a lot of guys like that for the speed. So.
Other features you want to touch on here?
Yeah, absolutely. Footboard height adjustment. It's a normal adjustment on a pedal. But again, try to make it really easy for the drummer right from the playing position to raise and lower it. Put it where you want it and just lock it in. Everything is marked with some laser markings. It has a scale on it so you can see where you're at. If you can see the lines here. So if you want to adjust the pedal, move it a little bit, you know where you were. A lot of guys playing a pedal, myself included, when you start playing and you start making some adjustments, you might get it to where you don't like it.
Sure.
This makes it easier to figure out where you were and where you're testing it, so you're not lost on the pedal.
Yeah.
So, this does have a floating rotor, so the shaft is independent of the cam.
And how does that affect the feel or anything?
It's much more free floating. The 9000 has this feature as well. It's a patented feature, so DW is the only one that has that. And it allows us to have more sets of bearings. So there's bearings right on the cam here, and there's bearings outside here on the end of the shaft.
Okay.
Really no friction on this pedal. It's very smooth and very clean playing.
And so, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to show you one last feature here. There's a lot more features, but most of them are on the MDD direct drive pedal as well, and they've carried over to this. But one of them, it's on the MDD, but I'd just like to point it out because a lot of guys still don't know we have this. Again, from the playing position, to change the spring tension, simply turn the drum key to tighten or loosen it. Again, there's no locking mechanism on it. You don't have to reach down with 2 hands to tighten something up. And then it's shown here where you're at. So the lower that is on the scale, the higher the tension on the footboard from the spring. So it's kind of a cool thing, unique to the DW MDD and MCD pedals and the hi-hat as well. So I think it's pretty cool to have that feature, from a drummer's point of view.
Yeah, that's great. So. And these are going to be on the market when?
The chain drive will be available in about 2 months. The direct drive and the hi-hat are already available and selling.
All right, so now I think we're going to go look at a cajon pedal. Is that right? Excellent.
Thanks.
All right, so we're going to wrap up at the DW booth looking at the new cajon pedal. Rich, tell us about this one.
Okay, the cajon pedal, we've looked at what's on the market, and for DW to really tackle anything, we like to have a good reason to do it. So looking at the other pedals available, we realized that the majority of the beaters, or all the beaters on the other pedals, are really high on the cajon, kind of in the way of your hands. And to me, the most optimum sound is just below center. You get the most bass out of the cajon. So we wanted to lower the beater. You can't just lower a beater and put a short beater on because it won't feel good. So you have to lower the pivoting point or the fulcrum. So the shaft down here, we laid it down. We pulled the spring out horizontal to the floor.
Okay.
And that allows the beater to go much lower. So you get a really nice sound. It's out of the way of your hands. So the other thing that we wanted to do was make it easy to pack up. So I'm going to show you that feature, and then I'm going to talk about how smooth it feels, because ultimately feel is the number one thing for the drummer, right?
Sure.
You sit down and just be able to play it real easily. So to pack this up, we decided we needed to be able to disconnect the cable from the footboard.
Right.
So we just have 2 drum key screws. Loosen up, remove it from the shaft. Loosen this screw up, and you unplug it. So now this is free from that. You can throw this in the bag. Actually fits in here.
Okay.
Put that in the bag, zip it up, you're good to go. When you get to the gig, this is the one part. This is all self-contained, so you don't have to assemble anything, although you can remove this portion from here.
Okay.
This is supported with the flat surface here and the rubber foot here, so this doesn't need anything on it to work. You can just set this down and play it. So you can just put it in front of your cajon. Nice thing is, when you're playing, you can also lean back because it's not attached.
Oh, okay.
Right? And a lot of guys like to play tilted back a little bit. So back to the reassembly, put that down, put the cajon on it, plug this in here. Lock it in. All the adjustments automatically reset.
Okay.
Because it's plugging it in to the same stop. There's a square on the shaft to locate it. You simply put it on there, tighten it up, and you're good to play.
Excellent. And so, sorry, one thing I noticed is the beater it's a large hard felt. Is that right?
Actually, it's very squishy. It's a
Very squishy.
rubber ball. It's almost like something you would work out with to strengthen your muscles.
Okay.
But an easy ball to squeeze, right? So we found out, and kind of by trial and error and having a lot of feedback from guys that can play the cajon really well, they didn't want something that sounds like it's attacking the drum. They want something more like the palm of your hand, because that's what they're hitting with when they're trying to get the bass out of the cajon. So we found that this really works the best. Although this can work with any beater. You can put any beater you want in there. This one, again, just from asking people out there what they like the best, they really like this one. Last thing to point out, most of the cajones out there, the wire goes up in the air and in front of you, and I couldn't get it to feel good by using that system where the wire comes up from the top with a drive shaft on it. So we did a reverse mechanism here where it goes down, keeps the cable low to the floor out of your way. More direct line gives you a nice feel. So really with my finger you can see how easy it is to push that. So it's almost like tapping your foot when you want to play it. So response has been really nice. So we're real happy and excited about this.
What's the length of the cable between the 2 units?
That one's only about 17 inches. And we've had guys 6'4" sit down and play it, and they're okay playing it. You can put it over here. And we've had guys shorter than that.
Sure.
I'm 5'8". It's perfect for me. So it seems to be the length that we're going to go with, although it's really easy to change. So we're considering offering some different sizes, so you could change it out if it's a problem for you.
All right, Rich, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Take care.